And I now recognize Mr. Crane from Arizona for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me to wave on today. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Beer. Did you state in the past that President Biden led the U.S. immigration system out of an unprecedented calamity?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes or no?
Absolutely. The
Thank
first
you.
Trump
Thank you.
administration
I yield.
destroyed
I
the
reclaim my
immigration
time.
system.
Many would argue that President Biden didn't lead us out of this unprecedented calamity, but he actually created it. I want to read a quote to you. I want to see if you know who the author of this quote was. "What I would do as president is several more things because things have changed. I would in fact make sure that we immediately surge to the border all those people who are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We are a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come." Do you know who said that, Mr. Beer?
Biden said that.
Yeah, while he was running for office. So we all knew what was going to happen.
Who was the we in
It
this
is-
sentence? The we is the
Those
government.
of us with
the government was going to surge
those of us
to
with
the
common
border,
sense
not
are the
immigrants.
we. Thank you. I reclaim my time. Mr. Beer, you also stated that Trump's policies endanger the rights of Americans by undermining due process and focusing on mass deportation rather than public safety. And I want to riff on public safety for a second because a couple weeks ago, Congressman Biggs and I met with several angel families in Arizona. They were heartbroken families who felt like the Biden administration, and quite frankly, policies promoted by yourself, that their family members were left vulnerable. They also said that there were a few Republicans that wouldn't meet with them, but that no Democrats would meet with them. Why do you think that is, Mr. Beer? Why do you think that Democrats are unwilling to meet with angel families?
I would be happy to meet with them, and I have. That is exactly why I think ICE should focus on public safety to prevent tragedies like that.
Yeah, well, they don't feel like you and the president prioritizes American citizens and their family members. They feel like all you guys really do is prioritize the safety and welfare of illegal aliens, and that's coming from them, and I agree with it. Why is it that you prioritize the safety and welfare of illegal aliens over those of American citizens, Mr. Beer?
It's a ridiculous question. I think we should prioritize the safety of all people by focusing on all law enforcement on people who victimize other people. I'm the only libertarian here. I'm the only
Mr.
one
Beer,
who thinks that the government should spend all of its time focused on public safety.
If that's true, why did the American people largely reject the Biden administration and many of your policies in re-electing President Donald Trump?
Well, there's lots of reasons why people voted for Trump. I'm not going to get into them here, but I think all Americans want our law enforcement to focus on public safety, and I agree with them.
Do you think it had anything to do with witnessing and watching 4 years of your policies being put out?
They weren't my
to the public,
policies, sir.
Oh, they're not? You don't support,
In fact, Title 42
you
was
don't
the main-
support the president's immigration policies? You don't support President Biden's immigration policies?
President Biden's immigration policies were not even implemented until the end of his term. Title
seem to
42,
be a big supporter of
Title 42 was the
President
main
Biden's
immigration
immigration
policy, sir, during the first part of the Biden administration. The Republican states sued to keep it in place. That was the policy in effect in the border. It was not a Biden policy, it was a Trump policy.
Oh, so the
It took
10
until
to 15 million
2023 to
illegal
get rid of
aliens
that
that
policy.
came in, that wasn't a Biden policy? That wasn't a Biden policy?
What was not about Biden
The
policy?
10 to 15 or 20 million illegal aliens that came into the country, that wasn't President
Those are
Biden's
made up.
policies?
Those are completely made up numbers, sir. But of course, it was not a policy.
Oh, I'm sure they're made
trying
up.
to stop.
I'm
They were
sure they're
doing
made up,
everything they
sir.
could.
And all the numbers and data that you come in here and spout, they're absolutely factual. Is that right? Mr. Newman, moving on to you. You posted on X, no one who voted for the Laken Riley Act should have any role in the future leadership of the Democrat Party in this country. It's disqualifying. Did you post that, sir? Yes or no?
Congressman, yes, I did.
Why is it disqualifying, in your opinion, that the detention of illegal aliens who are accused of theft, burglary, assaulting a law enforcement officer, and any crime that causes death or serious bodily injury is disqualifying?
I posted that tweet because I believed that it was a capitulation to Republican demagoguery to create two systems of justice where people are treated differently for similar crimes. And I stand by that. I think it was a grave mistake on the part, well, first on the part of the Republican Party, but on the part of cowardly Democrats to stand up to that level of demagoguery. That's the reason why I posted that tweet.
I yield back. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,